So from now on, every time you send a text, you're going to think of me. Let me tell you why. My name is Stella, and I run a multi-million-dollar business. But the cool part about that isn't the multi-million-dollar part. It's the part where I get to impact 50 sales associates and 20 leaders every single day. I'm one of those lucky people that get to say, I love what I do, and I make a whole lot of money doing it. Just to give you an idea, the other day I walk into my office and I see this beautiful fruit arrangement on my desk along with a thank you note next to it. And although I love my chocolate-covered strawberries, the most rewarding aspect of it was the reason I got it in the first place. Just a couple of weeks prior, I spent an hour with one of my sales associates, and we did a deep dive into what internal limitations she's needing to break through in order to tap into a high level of performance. This is the kind of stuff that I really geek out on. I really feel a sense of purpose in doing this on a daily basis. So the most shocking part of it was at the end of our conversation, she goes, I've had many sales managers before, but none of them ever took the time to speak with me like that. All they ever did was tell me to make more sales calls. But at the end of our conversation, I was able to see a complete shift in this person's confidence, energy, and in turn, results. However, it wasn't always like this. In fact, just 2 years prior, I mailed a physical olive branch to a member of one of my sales teams in the hope of mending a broken relationship. Good thought, right? So I remember coming home one night and I was exhausted out of one of those really long days of work, right? So I started taking off my heels, like I kind of wish I could right now, and started taking off my makeup and decided to call this member of my team. Let's just call him John for the sake of the story. So I called John and I already knew something was off by his general demeanor, but I hadn't realized how off until I asked, is everything okay? And I quickly came to find out everything was not okay. Is everything okay? He repeated. Quite frankly, I'm over it. I have so much going on right now that the last thing I need is your constant judgmental tone and your demeaning comments. Okay, this was one of those uh-oh moments for me. One of those moments where you get to decide if it defines you or refines you, as my business coach Steve Sims likes to say. And because no one had ever spoken to me like that before, I had a real tough time processing what just happened. So I just sat there on the cold bathroom floor for a solid 20 minutes asking myself, how the heck did we get here? Well, here's the backstory. Although John and I were BFFs when I originally trained him a couple years prior, over the course of 2 years, our relationship had deteriorated to a weekly phone call where I would tell him what's wrong versus ask him, what's up? See the difference? Here's the unavoidable truth I learned. You can't lead someone if you don't have a real relationship with them. Good leadership is built on great relationships. So in order to connect, or in order to lead, we must first connect. So, my philosophy is that leadership is built on 3 fundamentals: knowledge, trust, and benevolence. I've developed this theory after having listened to great thought leaders like Jim Quick and Ari Meisel. So in order for somebody to buy into your leadership, they must, 1, understand that you possess knowledge they can learn from, 2, believe that they can trust you, and 3, know you have their best interests in mind. Here's the issue. Most leaders get the order of these entirely wrong. Let me explain. Imagine for a moment that you're watching your boss run a meeting and it is not very good. One of those rough meetings. Would your immediate thought process be to dismiss them entirely or just to assume perhaps they're having a rough morning? Happens to the best of us, right? A bad meeting wouldn't ruin a relationship. Now, imagine you find out your boss lied to you. Would that ruin your relationship a little bit? Perhaps. Would you ever seek guidance from them again? Maybe not. Lastly, imagine you find out that your boss maliciously did something to hurt you. Now that would ruin your relationship entirely, wouldn't it? So here's the issue. Most leaders lead with knowledge because they naturally assume that's what gets the most buy-in, when in fact it's trust and benevolence that matter most, right? And it's not that most leaders are dishonest or malicious. It's just that they don't pay much attention to developing trust and goodwill. So here are 3 simple, easy steps you can take to develop trust and goodwill as a leader, and all through just text and emojis. Number 1, when you text a subordinate, start with a warm greeting, like, good morning, or what's up, rockstar, or hey, queen. Don't just go to your question or demand. Rather, start with that warm greeting. And just that small adjustment can entirely change the way that your texts are perceived, signal a little more vulnerability and benevolence, and improve your relationships. Number 2, this is my favorite one. Start adding emojis to all your texts and have some fun with it. A 2017 study published by the Journal of Language and Social Psychology found that emojis are not only perceived to communicate joy, but are also found to enhance social relationships. Ain't nothing a sunshine emoji can't fix. And number 3, start checking in with your people regularly to offer support, to offer guidance, to just say, what's up? Not just to ask if something was done or criticize if something wasn't done. So these 3 things are so easy and simple to do, they're just as easy not to do. Common knowledge is not always common practice, as Brendon Burchard likes to say. And perhaps some of you may be thinking, I don't communicate like that, or I'm not an emoji person. But here's the thing, leadership ain't about you. It's about the person you're leading. Leaders become great when they let go of their egos and become obsessed with bringing value to others. So perhaps you're just one good morning text away from connecting a little better. One sunshine emoji away from showing a little more vulnerability. And just one strong relationship away from becoming more profitable, more fulfilled, and more purpose-driven. Thank you.